We need America to have a good time because we are in a weird, abusive relationship with the United States of America. It's not her fault. She doesn't know that we exist. She is a beautiful, manic, pixie dream girl. And we are a pimply 13-year-old boy who is following her around, desperately trying to fuck her. We should be in love with Europe, but we've broken Europe's heart. We should be on a bench in Paris fingering a Fraulein, but we're not. We're following America around, sliving around, doing whatever she does to try and impress her. Be like, are you leaving Afghanistan? Yeah, we're probably going to leave Afghanistan too, yeah. If you're leaving, we're leaving, yeah. Probably only take 1,000 troops to stop these people being plunged back into the Dark Age, but if you're doing it, we're doing it. Look at me, touch my penis. Please look at me, validate me in some way. Please help me. Oh, are you getting rid of your mad-haired right-wing television personality leader and replacing them with a series of non-entities? Yeah, we're going to do that too, yeah. Oh, are you building a wall to keep out immigrants? That's so cool, yeah. We're probably, yeah, we don't have a wall, but we're going to get Suella Braverman to send us to Rwanda. Yeah, if you're doing it, please, fuck me. Because when America feels good about herself, we can feel good about ourselves. And that is a simple rule.
Some stereotypes are actually true, all right? Like, my crazy Mexican family, yeah, we do things a little different than other families. Like, if I say a bad word in front of mi abuelita, she doesn't wash my mouth out with soap. Nah. She washes it out with fabuloso. And then she hits me with a chancla. And then she makes some nachos, does the Macarena, joins the cartel, is lazy. Oh, you know. Illegal, freeloader, rapist, murderer. I mean, como se dice, ay, ay, ay.
My dad told me something amazing about Hitler. Did any of you know that... Did any of you know he was addicted to cocaine and methamphetamine? Yeah, of course you do, big fans. That blew my mind. It definitely brings like a new perspective to the war. You know, like, because like, I've had difficult hangovers in my time. Imagine losing a world war on a come down. He just strolls downstairs. All right, boys. What was we doing last night? We invaded. Oh fuck! Oh my god! Oh Jesus! No, right, Goebbels, shut the curtains right now. No, let's get in the bunker and put Jamiroquai on. We can fucking vibe it out. We'll vibe it out, boys. We will. It's fucking third night for the Third Reich. We can fucking... He starts getting all insecure. He's going, oi, am I a bad guy? Am I a bad guy? I am, aren't I? I'm literally Hitler. Can of Pepsi, he's back to his old self. Back to the old Hitler you lot know and love. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't kill him. I'd just say, Adolf, stay off the gear. I've seen you work. You're enough. Take some acid. Get back into painting, you know?
They say there's two sides to every story. But that would also mean no, there isn't. I miss my dad every day. One day I'm gonna hit him. Do you guys ever wash your hands in a motion sensor faucet and it doesn't work? And you think, oh God, it's over. Sweet release. I've died. That other sink is so far away. And you go over and it works.
I used to have great tits, I'm going to be honest with you. I used to have a bloody good set of baps. Not anymore! Oh, not anymore! My tits haven't been together for a very long time. Just waving at each other from across my chest going, "Are you right, babe? How you been? I haven't seen you for ages." "Oh, I've just been under her armpit for the last 3 hours." I bent down to pick up one of my kids' toys recently. A little bit of wee came out. I thought, I didn't even give birth to these children. What the hell?
Town was so country, man. We used to have drive your tractor to school day. Swear to God. Do you guys remember School Spirit Week? Well, like every day of the week would have a theme to it, like Pajama Day or Twin Day. We would have one day in that week when like the rich kids would pull up and just fucking flex on us, John Deere style. And the women in my school would just get wet. Like, oh my Lord, he's got land. Because that's all people cared about where I was from, was fucking farming. Like, you didn't need 8 inches if you had 8 acres. Like, that was the biggest flex you could come with. You couldn't compete with a farmer. If he's plowing land, he could plow your bitch, straight up. Like, there's just nothing you could do. Nothing you could do.
My dad is 77 years old. He was born during the Blitz. He's at a point in his life, he doesn't care what people think. Like, he'll regularly end a conversation by going, I'm bored of you now.
Now, Stanley was a wildly attractive man. You know those people, when you see their photos, you're like... Like, it's just on the farm, like the wedding photo. You know, the normal old people photos, there's 3. There's him with a young guy, a young man, in a button-down shirt, and then the wedding photo, and that was that. But I look at those photos and I'm like, whew. You know when someone's so hot, you start questioning your choices? And then you remember being gay is not a choice.
My attention span is shortening by the day, especially when you compare it to what it was when I was a child. Because like when I was a kid, like I would just read books all day long. That's all I would do, day in and day out. We had this big chair in our living room, and I would just sit there and read books, you know. I was super cute. I would read books all day long. I love reading, you know. I love reading stories about hobbits and boxcar children. I used to love those little hobos. But I'd read all day. You know, I'd wake up and I'd get to the big chair and I'd read the same book for like 5 hours straight. Then I'd sprint to the kitchen and eat lunch as quickly as I could so I could get back to the big chair and read the same book for like 7 more hours. It's crazy, because when you compare it against who I am now, it's like this deranged lunatic. Or every morning I just wake up like, God, my phone! Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God, it's in my hands again. Okay. Okay, funny video. Yeah, that's funny. The premise is taking too long to establish. Next video. Sad video. Oh yeah, this will make me happy. Okay, sad video. Yeah, the soldier is getting back from one of the countries. And his dog's there to greet him. Oh, I knew it would always work out. I need to buy something. I need to get something that'll make me happy. All the other things I bought didn't make me happy. This. Oh, hamburger gloves. I need the hamburger gloves. If I buy the hamburger gloves, that will be it. I'll be happy. All the other things didn't make me happy, but the hamburger gloves, well, I need the company of a woman. I need the companionship of a woman on a dating website. Let's look at all the women on the... Our nose is weird. Next woman. I don't like that woman. I need a better woman. Oh, she's using too many exclamation points. Next woman. No, I don't. That's not what I want. What I want is, I don't remember what I want. What do I want? I remember what I want. What I help me. Please, I don't know. Help me. Help. At this point, it's like 8:15 a.m.
I didn't think the fishing kit that came with life rafts worked. Like, I didn't think it was for anything. I thought the fishing kit in a life raft was like the whistle on life jackets. A prop to reassure the simple-minded. You know, a whistle. You're gonna slap into the Atlantic at 1,000 miles an hour. Boop, boop. They stand up there and they say, the whistle's for attracting attention. You're like, I think the plane crash will... It's a better start when it comes to attracting attention. The enormous plume of smoke.
Teachers are maniacs. I had the best year of my primary school career not being taught the curriculum. When I was 8 years old, I had a teacher, Mr. Curran. Mr. Curran was drunk the entire school year. If you're a child, this doesn't register. You just think, why is this adult more fun than all the other adults?
No, I did just have a breakup a little while ago. It's okay, he liked MMA. But you know when you have a breakup, everything becomes like a breakup song or like a breakup shampoo. I was in the shower using Pantene Repair and Shine. And on the bottle it said, repairs damage of up to 6 months in one use. And I was like, yeah, right, Pantene. The only thing that can repair the damage of the last 6 months in one use is a coat hanger and a Kesha album. Thank you so much. Now, rude dudes are out, cozy guys are in. Rude dudes are out, cozy guys are in. 'Cause I'm a little cozy sweetie. And I need a cozy, kind man with large, rough hands who gives me back scratchies for days. Back scratchies till my back looks like it got a chemical peel. I just want to sit in the lap of this thick-thighed man and eat kettle chips till my mouth bleeds. I just want to sit in the lap of this tree-trunk-thighed man and eat chips that cause oral injury and harm. I just want to sit in the lap of this huge-bodied man while he feeds me spicy rigatoni until I see God. Until I see the ghost of my recently deceased grandma who told me to stop saying pussy on stage. No, I'm ready for my soulmate. I'm tired of running. I want to get old. I want to do old people shit. I'm tired. I'm ready for my soulmate. I love old people shit. I love a bench. I love to sit down. I want to do old people things like sit and eat sausages and yogurt. I hate loud music. I love radicchio. Let's die together, bitch. No, I need a kind man. I need a man so kind he makes Mr. Rogers look like the fucking Unabomber. I need a man so kind he makes Winnie the Pooh look like Cocaine Bear. I need a man so kind he makes Cliff Huxtable look like Bill Cosby. No, I trained my ex-boyfriend to tell me I'm skinny. I used a gun. It was so easy to get a gun. No, I can never be stick thin because I'm a little hungry boy. I'm a little hungry boy. I want to eat like an underweight high school football player. I want to eat like the Lost Boys in Hook when Pan comes back. I hate when people say, eat to live, don't live to eat. It's like, shut up, bitch. French fries are incredible. They're like a drug that won't make you lose your mortgage and 2 kids. Shoestring fries are bullshit, though. I hate a shoestring. You guys? Yeah, I hate them. I hate them. Oh, you want to demean me? You want to degrade me? You want to humiliate me and to put a whole handful of fries into my mouth just to get the equivalent of 1 regular fry? Please. Please. I just don't think I can relate to you unless you like to unwind by blasting a rotisserie chicken over a trash can. That's sort of how I like to take a load off. I like to hunch over in private and do my little chicken shoveling raccoon private soothing in private. But I sort of just live in fear of somebody rolling up on me while I'm doing my private soothing. Because I could just do something drastic that I can't take back. I would rather a man look directly into my butthole than catch me eating a rotisserie chicken in private. I would rather piss my gray sweatpants in front of my entire high school again. Than have a man catch me eating a rotis in private.
Can I ask you a question, Jad? Do you ever have a male friend come up to you and tell you something and then say, don't tell your wife? Does that ever happen, Jad? Yes. Yes, it does. Do you tell your wife? Every single time. Every single time? Fuck yeah, Jad. I mean, I've never heard that name before, but it sounds like what a guy with that name would do. Does anyone else feel that in their heart a little bit? Being like, yeah, Jad's a fucking snitch, dude. Like, I thought it was like some cliche, but no, like the second I got married, my male friend's like, hey, don't tell your wife. And I'm like, how can you still think you're above her in the hierarchy? You know, this is a quarterly male friendship at best. Like, how can you think? Like, I've never lost a male friend and had to divide my assets, right? That's never happened. It's like, yeah, me and Jad aren't boys anymore. Now they get to visit the pub every second Tuesday. Fuck off, right? Like, what are we doing? Supervised visitation of the schnitzel? Get the fuck out of here. When someone says, don't tell your wife, I'm like, man, thank you for reminding me of the first person I'm going to tell. Because, you know what I'm leaving in the story? The bit where you said not to tell her, right? That's staying in. You're a fucking snake in the grass, mate, and she's going to know the truth. Because the thing is, like, when a guy says that, it has not once been for my wife's benefit, right? It's never to protect her from sad information. It's never like, hey, Dan, don't tell your wife, but there is this genocide in China and we can't do anything about it. Because we owe them too much money. Don't tell your wife, you know? They just keep it on the down low. It's never that. It's they've done something fucked and don't want two people judging them at the same time. That's all it is. I love that Jad is just nodding so hard right now, being like, we have the exact same piece of shit friends. When dude said, it's like, hey, don't tell your wife. I went to a massage parlor for a happy ending, ended up paying extra for her to piss on me. Don't tell your wife. Can I borrow a towel? Sorry, Jad's wife, what's your name? Kathleen? Catherine. Fuck, I thought it was going to be weird again, and I apologise. Catherine. Fucking, there we go. That's been a character in a novel. Sorry, Catherine, have you ever had the same thing happen to you? Like a female friend say, don't tell your husband? Don't tell Jad? Yeah. Did you tell him? Depends. Catherine, this isn't fucking daytime TV. What was that noise? Everyone's like, ooh. What's under my seat? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's 10 p.m., you fucking cowards. All right. What does it depend on?
No, 9 times out of 10, I probably tell.
9 times out of 10. You've counted? You've worked out a statistical probability to the breaking of trust in your relationship? I mean, Catherine, the funny thing is, I fucking agree with you 100%, dude. You gotta, that's the difference. When a lady says don't tell your husband, don't. Don't tell him. Because when women say that, it's for our benefit, you know? Like, it's to help us. When women say don't tell your husband, it's followed up by sentences like, yeah, because girth is more important than length. And you're like, whoa. Jad and I are standing there with our narrow confidence, you know, just getting skinnier by the syllable, right? We can't be too careful.
And if you have kids, I would give you some advice that I gleaned from my years, which is you got to treat your home like it's a prison. Every time I walk in the front door, I pick the biggest one, punch him right in the face. After that, everybody else falls into line. It's about respect. Men think about prison a lot. They think that's why there's so many TV shows like Lock Up, because men always fantasize like, could I make it? You guys are all Texans, so you're convinced you'd make it, but you all wouldn't. You wouldn't make it, sir. You wouldn't make it 5 minutes. I doubt you're gonna make it through this comedy show. Would you consider yourself a nerd? No? It's just the hair parted to the side, the crew neck. What do you do for work? Computer engineer. Computer engineer! And among computer engineers, would you be considered cool? Yeah, you got a mustache? You got a little mustache going? I didn't see it right away, but in the right light, I can totally see it. Yeah, you're a badass. You got your little cubicle, you got the rebel flag up there. I love this guy. That's what's funny about Texas, is guys all dress, at least you're dressed like a computer programmer. A lot of guys, every guy in Texas wears like the shirt with the snaps on it and the cowboy hat and the boots, and they go and sit in a cubicle and sell insurance all day. But they got the shirt because the shirt, I've seen it on cops. You guys, when you fight, shirts got to get ripped off right away. That doesn't scare me. When I get in a fight, I take my pants off. Because who wants to fight a guy with no pants? And an erection makes people uncomfortable. But men think about prison. We think about if we'd make it. And I think I personally would make it through prison. Not because I'm tough, because I'm funny. And I would use that gift to get me through some tight spots. I have in the past. I would again. I would roast the guards. I would constantly roast the guards behind their backs. And then I would do maybe some pithy observational comedy about man's alienation and existentialism. And I think that would go really big. And then the biggest, meanest guy in the yard would be like, hey, you're funny. I never would have noticed you, but you made me laugh. Come here. Suck my dick. Damn it. Why do I have this gift?
Very cynical, of course, but you've got to talk about what you know, and what I know is Peppa Pig World. That's my life now. And I thought that'd be quite good, actually. I can make it a nice little structural part of the show. I can keep going back and back to it, just like we went back and back to Peppa Pig World. It'll be a fun prism through which to discuss the delicate dynamics of the modern parenting arrangement. Yeah, I was getting excited about that. Then, unfortunately, all of that was ruined in October 2021 when I turned on the television to see our dearly beloved former Prime Minister Boris Johnson doing some pretty scintillating stand-up comedy about going to Peppa Pig World himself, taking the topic off the table for the rest of the posh twats. I was livid! If you didn't see it, do check it out in your own time. A masterful piece of oratory, as we came to expect from the man. He came out, he said, has anyone been to Peppa Pig World? Then he started doing observational material about the characters, about how Daddy Pig is a slightly shit paternal role model. Bold approach from Boris Johnson. But a good observation regardless. I sat there watching my own material disappearing up in flames, thinking, well, I can't talk about it now. If I talk about Peppa Pig World, people will just think about Boris Johnson. That's the last thing I want. I was sat there thinking, fuck you, Boris, actually. If that's not too much. Fuck you, Boris, you selfish, greedy cunt. Which is weird, because I think otherwise he did an absolutely superb job. I don't know if you were following the big calls, but it was right as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that. I think the previous thing that I said. It's a delicate ambiguity to try and navigate when you did literally go to the same school as the man. Which I did, I'm afraid. I went to Eton for 5 years as a teenager. I've mentioned that in every stand-up comedy show I've ever done, because as my father always says, just got to own these things. It's actually advice from a separate conversation about land, but the point stands. The portfolio-based approach from Dad. So here I am now as an adult, trying to pop my head above the parapet of left-wing political comedy, but not quite so far that you can see my bow tie. That's the situation as it stands. It's hard, obviously. It's a conflict, you know. Whatever you believe, it's always there in your background. Last July, Boris Johnson's cabinet started to crumble. Everyone started resigning. That was pretty exciting. I was straight onto Twitter, pumping out anti-establishment tweets as fast as I could possibly type them. But I was also, to be fair, texting Tristram and Hugo about how our old captain of games had to stand down as vice chair of Conservative Youth. And how I wish that not every single word of that sentence was true, and I didn't have to add the further clarification, captain of games, brackets, Michaelmas. Ah, yes, the Michaelmas term, the autumn term. Our housemaster, he liked to spread out the captain of games jobs on a term-by-term basis to stop any one individual captain from getting too big for their boots. You see, for an incredibly elitist institution, we're actually very democratic. If you're already in it, that's how it works. Pull up the drawbridge, shuffle the deck. That's the school motto, in Latin. It was exciting, though. When all of the Johnson cabinet started resigning, felt like the whole world was on social media. The politicians were tweeting, the journalists were tweeting, the comedians were tweeting. KFC tweeted the Conservative Party directly. Always a powerful moment in your national discourse when the Colonel enters the chat. Just when it looked like Johnson simply had to resign, but still refused to do so, someone at KFC thought, it's time. And they tweeted a picture of Boris Johnson's head photoshopped onto a chicken. I was intrigued by this, and all the more so when I scrolled up to see this was actually a reply to a tweet that the Conservatives had sent to KFC in December 2019. On the eve of the 2019 general election, the Conservative Party official Twitter account had published a picture of Jeremy Corbyn's head on a chicken with the caption, "Dear KFC, we found the most spineless chicken there is." And 2.5 years later, KFC replied, "You've got to be upstanding for some motherfucking Kentucky Fried Long game right there." The social media manager of KFC sat in the job for 2.5 years, watching and waiting for their moment. I think it's fair enough to have a quick pop at the government after the last few years, but I don't really think that's my job. I can't claim to have been as affected by their actions as a lot of other people, I'm sure. There's one particular action I'd like to complain about, and I found out about that in April 2021, just as the third lockdown started to ease, and a glint of optimism started to creep back into the nation. I received a chilling email from none other than Team Sport Karting. That's right, friends, I'm on the mailing list. The email began, "It is with a heavy heart," and I thought, oh dear, I'm going to have to read the rest of this email. I had a relatively busy day ahead of me, but I will always carve out time in the schedule to learn what has beheavied the heart of Team Sport Karting. The email continued, "It's with a heavy heart that we will not be reopening tomorrow as planned, because in a last-minute decision this morning, the government have declassified go-karting as a sport." What an email. And whatever your feelings otherwise, what a government. Often incompetent, often evil, rarely boring. No other government in the world was declassifying go-karting as a sport in the middle of the pandemic. The granular legislation to which these maverick fucks will turn their hand in times of crisis. As we all know now, they were getting lashed every single night of the week, and yet in amongst the parties, they were still arguing amongst themselves about how go-karting should be classified. Johnson slumped in a chair, trousers round his ankles, getting ambushed by cake after cake, as he bellows at a coked-up Michael Gove about how it's the cart that does most of the work, really. He respects Lewis Hamilton as a businessman, but not as a sportsman. That's his position. And it's the final word. I've tried to distance myself from my school and my background in certain ways as an adult, but I'd have to admit most of the steps I've taken have been pretty inconsequential so far. I'll give you an example. Last year, I decided I was going to stop eating Soreen malt loaves. Not an easy thing to do. I'm a lover of the loaf, but I'm sure I'm not alone in this room. Then I read a very persuasive article about consumer ethics by a journalist I follow called Arabella, about how she, also a lover of the loaf, had decided to renounce Soreen since learning that they were big Conservative Party donors, and she couldn't enjoy her favourite malt loaves, knowing that they were propping up a regime that she hated. I thought, fair enough, Arabella. Where you go, I will surely follow. It is probably important to add for context that I do know Arabella because our schools went on a joint ski trip together in 2005. A ski trip that Arabella and we did not enjoy. We were the outcasts of the ski trip. Is there a tinier violin in the land than the one being played for the outcasts of the ski trip, left out of the action, describing the antics in the chalet in her words as depraved, and in my words, irresponsible, with GCSEs just 17 weeks away. Let's not get our rocks off before we get our box off. A decade and a half later, I'm tracking her progress as a journalist, running away from her privilege as fast as I hope to run away from mine, and if she can give up Soreen, so can I. Of course, I will continue to eat the malt loaves that are home-cooked for me by friends of my parents who donate to the Conservative Party directly. I'm not going to make a scene in somebody's home. But I'm walking past it in the supermarket. I'm walking past the Soreen, and I'm walking past the Sabra hummus. That's not easy either. I loved Sabra hummus. Then I learned somewhere that Sabra are apparently quite directly linked to violence in the Middle East. I read that and I thought, fine! Sainsbury's hummus isn't as creamy, but it'll have to do. And if your life involves that sentence, you've got to conclude that you've still got a pretty nice life. Again, these principles are not comprehensive. In March of last year, I went to watch Newcastle United playing at home. Hey, Ivo, aren't Newcastle United now fairly directly linked to violence in the Middle East? Yes, but a friend of mine's a Newcastle fan, and he said it'd be a fun boys' weekend, and it was. Obviously, I cut a strange figure at St James's Park, watching Newcastle United, eating my Sainsbury's hummus, thinking, I'm sending some pretty mixed messages to the Middle East right now. I think it's important to check your privilege where possible in life, but I also think it's important to be grateful for the opportunities you've received and the people who gave you those opportunities. My parents sent me away to an all-boys boarding school when I was 7 years old, but they thought that was the right decision, and who's to say whether that was a good decision or a bad decision? Space adventure. 1999. Percy was shooting to space in his rocket. He was beginning to feel dizzy. He didn't know if he would like space, and he missed his family. He wanted to be at home watching the FA Cup final. Would Man U be able to win it after the exciting win against Arsenal in the semi? Ryan Giggs scored the winning goal, and his tummy was so hairy that he took his shirt off. Percy couldn't take off his shirt because of his heavy spacesuit and the dangerous atmosphere. He felt lonely, but this was his job. He needed to concentrate on space. The end. To which my teacher has written, Ivo, I think it is you that needs to concentrate on space. This story is about football again. Also, I don't think... What a note this is to receive from a teacher, by the way. I don't think Ryan Giggs took his shirt off because his chest was so hairy. Who's to say? Who's to say?
The thing, I don't really know what men do, ever. Like, really, I was asking the crowd a few weeks ago at a show, like, what they did as a job. I was like, what are you, mate? And this guy was like, oh, I'm a scaffy. I thought that was a breed of dog. Turns out he's a scaffolder and I'm just a moron. Like, what I lack in masculinity, I make up for in my knowledge of scented candles, you know? That's my vibe. Like, I'm just not a man. Like, I drive auto, you know? That wasn't a joke. But you guys laughed. I said that statement in North Queensland on my tour last year, and one dude just stands up at the back and just goes, oh, you fucking pussy. And it's good to know that toxic masculinity is alive and well still in North Queensland. And I am a proud auto driver. Give us a cheer if you drive auto. Let's go. Give us a cheer if you drive manual. See, there's always less, but there's always so much louder. Just manual drivers, you are the vegans of the car world. You really are. I get bullied by men, to be honest. I read. Oh wait, no, that's the next bit. Can I? I moved too far ahead. I'll do the bullying bit first, and then I'll tell you about my reading. Now I'm just giving you the contents for the show. You're like, oh, a lot to look forward to. This is great. I get bullied by men. This is like true story. 5 years ago, I was walking to university. Okay, it was TAFE, whatever. I was like, no one's gonna believe that shit. And I had headphones on, and I was wearing a backpack, minding my own business. And you know when you hold your backpack strap like here, and then you lower it a bit, it's like a comfortable walking position. Then you lower it here, but it rides up at the back. I look like a fucking Pokemon trainer. I was wearing my backpack as a hat. And I don't know if you know this, but that's more than enough ammo for a tradie to rip you to shreds. They don't need much. And I'm minding my own business, and a white Toyota Hilux just slows right down. The windows start rolling down, and I was like, oh no. Now, I'm not a tradie. What a shock. But I'm fairly confident that there must be some kind of preamble that happens in the Hilux before the windows get rolled down. Like, they must be just like, oi. And he's like, yeah. And he puts down his dare. It's my favourite part of the show. Because every night there's always one girlfriend that pokes their boyfriend like, that's you. Chocolate milk is not a substantial breakfast. And they're just like, oi, 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 backpack kid. And the other one's like, this is better than when we drive past the local high school. This is sick, right? Do you remember chatterboxes from primary school? Those little paper origami things, and there's options, and you go on a journey. I reckon tradies have those in the glove box of their car with just 8 fucked insults they could yell at a stranger. And they're just like, oi, pick a colour. He's like, blue. Okay. B, L. Fuck, pick another colour. He's like, just go, man, just go. And this guy just leans his whole torso out the car, and he's like, oi! And I was like, yeah! And I watched this dude's brain just melt as he tried to come up with an insult. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I was like, someone's lost their chatterbox. And he clocks the backpack, and I quickly drop it, but it was too late. He'd seen it, and the insult started concocting. I could see it being mixed in there. The brain cell was pinging back and forth. And then he just goes, nice backpack, fuckhead. I was like, damn, that was pretty good, actually. And then he followed up with a question, and this really threw me off. He's like, why are you wearing that? And I went, huh? That's my first mistake. Because you're probably thinking, Luke, you don't owe this man an answer. Just walk away. I'm a people pleaser, okay? And a couple of things you need to know. Firstly, I just started doing comedy at the time. Really pride myself, particularly then, on being quick-witted enough to come back with a clever retort in a high-pressure scenario like this. The second thing is, I panicked. This is one of my biggest regrets, and I want you to know that before I say it. I'm aware of it. I was like, he's like, why are you wearing that? And I came out way too hard. I was like, why? And he goes, yeah, why? And I was like, because I wanted to pack my lunch. I froze, and he's like, what? And I was like, fuck! I think about that every morning. But I'm a modern man, right? As I may have mentioned earlier, accidentally. I read. Does anyone read? Any readers in? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, what do you read, mate?
I like to read my novels and Harry Potter.
Your novels and Harry Potter. I've got news for you, mate. Harry Potter is one of your novels. Wait, do you write your own novels?
No, yeah, I try to write.
Oh, you write your own. Sorry, I was being a smartass. You're way more intelligent than me. Except for that first part where you said you were a drug dealer. That wasn't the smartest. But... Pardon? No, I believe you. I know you're not. I know you're fucking joking, man. There's no drug dealer that would ever be like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, great. Yeah, anyone else read?
We read fantasy. We're actually in a book club together.
You're in a book club. Let's go. Ultimate readers. Oh, that's great. What was the last book you read?
It was a really messed up short story book, actually.
Messed up short story, like murder.
Mostly talk about, anal.
Anal? Yeah, great. Fun club. Are you sure you didn't just go to an orgy and read? That sounds intense. I'm more of a Captain Underpants man, to be honest. But game respects game. Like, that's good. I was reading a lot during lockdown. And, everything was about the pandemic. I think we all got sick of it. And by the way, I read a lot of highbrow intellectual stuff, as you might already be able to tell. I'm quite a sophisticated boy. It was BuzzFeed, whatever. Still an article. Okay, it was a quiz. I'm a Hufflepuff. You don't know my story. But there was this one article that stood out to me. The headline just read, Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, bans skinny jeans in North Korea. I clicked on the article and the first thing that came up was a picture of Kim Jong-un. I don't know if you've seen a picture of Kimmy boy lately. Fuck me, big unit. Barrel boy confirmed. Let's get that out of the way. This man is not a dictator, he is a mictator, all right? He's a big boy, and I'm looking at Kim, big boy, and I'm reading the article, ban skinny jeans, and I'm looking at Kim, ban skinny jeans, big, burly, beefy boy, ban skinny jeans. And I was like, that's the most insecure shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Full-grown adult man who has all the power he wants in that country. He woke up one morning, saw someone wearing skinny jeans and was like, if I can't have them, no one can. That's embarrassing. Imagine if I had that much power. I thought about this and I woke up one morning and I just banned big dicks, you know? I was like, if I can't have them, no one can. Hell yeah, a few other white dudes in, small to medium with a respectable girth, all right? A few girls laughing, a lot of dudes real quiet. Like, I came here to laugh, not to be personally attacked. Now, he's a big boy, and I did get a message, by the way, after one of the shows from a girl. She was like, hey, Luke, I really enjoyed the show. I just want you to know that fat shaming is never okay. And I was like, that's not true. Fat shaming is often not okay. But there is a limited amount of topics that you can talk about these days as a comedian, and I'm fairly sure girthy dictators is still on the cards. If we can't make fat jokes about blokes that kill their own people, what are we all doing? That's a bit of fun. Dude, get on board. Although Kim couldn't get on the board, he'd fucking break it, wouldn't he? The only person he doesn't starve in that country is himself, so... No, there's a list online of all these own staff and ministers that Kim has had executed since he came into power in 2011 with reasons why next to the names. One of the reasons next to one of the names was bad posture and fell asleep during meeting. And I called him pudgy. And sometimes people leave the show going, well, Luke, do not hurt his feelings. Fuck him, he's an arsehole. He's a big chubby wubby flubbernaut, right? He looks like a fucking dumpling, dude. You are what you eat, that's why he's a fucking dog. No, sorry. Now, that's not a generalization. There was a massive meat shortage in North Korea, and this is real. Kim Jong-un forced the poor citizens of North Korea to surrender their pets to restaurants to be used as food. Yeah, and I called him a boomba. They ran out of shepherd's pie and they were like, here's some German shepherd's pie with a side of border cauliflower. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, you're not going to like the next one. You go to North Korean Bunnings on a Saturday morning, sausage, dog and bread, mate. All right.
I think now would be a good time to open up the floor to questions from the audience. Specifically, the questions I have written down on these pieces of paper. So let's go ahead and go into the crowd on this one. Let's get the house lights up if we can. And let's see. Over here, you, my friend. Here you go, up first, nice and loud into the mic, please.
Awesome. All right. Hey, Martin, my name is Jerry Condom, and I'm a big fan of your comedy. I find it very relatable because also I hate women. I just don't like it when they talk. You see, the thing about females is that, from a biological standpoint...
All right, man, is there a question coming, or like...
Okay, so long story short, they recently started to hire women at my job because of PC culture. And now I'm forced to talk to females every day. My question is, what should I do? You Mexican.
Inappropriate. But I respect your freedom of speech. Well, Jerry, look. I don't know why so many of my fans hate women. But Jerry, thank you so much for being a fan, and I do have some advice. Now, Jerry, here are my tips for dealing with women in the workplace. Listen to them. Listen to their ideas. Then, take their ideas. Present them as your own, and if they complain, call them difficult to work with. Works every time I do it, and I do it a lot. Okay, let's see. Let's go with somebody on the front row on this one. You right over here. Nice and loud into the mic, please. Don't touch the mic.
Hi, Martin. My name is Charlie Racist. Unfortunate last name, I know. Anyway, Martin, big fan. I was wondering, what is your least favorite race of people? For me, it's a tie between...
Well, you don't have to answer your own question, Charlie. Nobody asked you to do that. A tie? Look. I don't know why so many of my fans are so racist. But Charlie, thank you for being a fan, and I love you. Now, Charlie, I am, however, not going to answer that question because I already answered it on my podcast. Check it out. I think you'd like it. Subscribe to our Patreon. I do some funny accents, man. Okay, let's see. I think we got time for another. Let's go with somebody right in the front row on this one. You, right over here. Nice and loud into the mic, please.
Hi, Martin. My name is Little Sophia, and I'm 8 years old.
Little Sophia, everybody. Let her hear it. Yeah. Also, you're all witnesses. She talked to me first. Go ahead, Sophia.
I think it's fair to say that your comedy appeals to a certain type of audience, and because of that, you have developed a particularly sexist, racist, and homophobic fan base. Martin, have you ever tried examining your work and why it seems to pander to an audience you claim to disagree with?
No. Little Sophia. Listen, these are just jokes. Okay, learn to take a joke. Like Mr. Racist or the guy who hates women. Learn to take a fucking joke. You PC liberal snowflake virtue signaling cuck. I mean, who even brought you out to a comedy show?
You messaged me on Instagram.
Oh, shit, I forgot. Never mind. No more questions. Cut the lights. Cut the lights. Ba-dum-bum. Hey, but anyway, before we get moving along, I want to say, thank you all for coming out here tonight and supporting me. I do appreciate that. Yeah, sure. That means a lot. So before I started this tour with this particular material, however many months ago it was, my girlfriend, my longtime girlfriend, broke up with me. And she said it was because I wouldn't stop fingering her like this. But isn't that how you do it? What am I doing wrong? Anyway, what else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah. Actually, now, I do want to take a moment now to run something by you all that I'm trying to do on TV. So I hope you don't mind. This is not part of the taping. I just want to actually take this opportunity to practice something. So I hope you don't mind. I have to read directly off my phone for this. Just kind of pretend. All right. We all know that you should never, ever, ever hit your kids. But what if someone else hit your kids for you? Hi, Sharks. I'm Martin. All right, so that's all I got so far. I'm still working on that.
This is the kind of stuff that keeps me awake at night, that gives me anxiety, which means I can't sleep. Thinking about my children's future. What is the legacy of my generation? It feels like it's Armageddon. Yeah? Which is why I made a decision in this particular show that I am not going to moan about my children in this show. No, I'm not going to do it. They've got enough to worry about. They've got enough to worry about without having their mum moaning about them on stage, okay? And the other reason I'm not going to moan about my kids is because what I've realised as a stand-up comedian is that when I moan about my kids, people don't like it. I'll tell you the people that really don't like it are the people that don't have kids. They ain't got the patience for it. They're like, oh, right, sorry, are you going to be moaning about your children again? Right, well, do you know what? If you didn't want them, you shouldn't have had them, right? But now you've got them, you're going to moan about them. I don't think so. Look at me. See me. I chose not to have children. I'm child-free and I made the right decision. But now that you've got them, you're going to moan about them. I don't think so. Do you know that we're on the brink of an environmental catastrophe? Have you even thought about your carbon footprint? You haven't thought about your carbon footprint, but now you're going to go on stage and moan about your children. I don't think so, sweetheart. Because if you didn't want them, you shouldn't have fucking had them. And it's not like I can even turn to these people and go, well, actually, they were an accident. They were very, very expensive. Even 2 for 1, they weren't. I don't really understand why people get upset with stand-up comedians. People do, they get really upset and offended. I was offended. You said something on stage I couldn't relate to. I got really offended by that. There was something that you said that didn't make any sense to me. I was offended. What you said is not my experience. I'm offended. I've gone on the internet to talk all about how offended I am. I'm offended. I am offended. Do fuck the fuck off. Be offended by a stand-up comedian? Are you mad? No one should be offended by anything a stand-up comedian does. We're completely unimportant. I tell you what you should be offended about. Be offended by food banks. Yeah? Be offended by the fact that there's private companies pumping sewage into our waters. Be offended by the fact that we have a government that thinks it's acceptable to send refugees to Rwanda. Be offended by that. Don't be offended by some... Do you know what I mean? Don't be offended by some middle-aged lesbian moaning about her children on stage, you bellend. Sometimes it's not enough that people like to get onto the comments and make the comments and making all of the comments about how I feel about everything. Sometimes these people like to slide into my DMs. Now listen, Bristol, I don't like to make generalisations. I don't think they're very helpful, but these people do tend to be very earnest American women. Shocked and I was appalled by the level of aggression you show your children in your stand-up comedy. I've been a mother